It's now been a month since I began cycling through South America. After exploring the backroads of Argentina and becoming familiar with the villages and people that inhabit the foothills of the Andes, it came time to venture off the beaten track. I found the faintest little brown line on the map. To me it looked presumably the loneliest road in all of Argentina. This little scribble on the page was my next adventure. It would take me along the top of the Andes, through an active volcano patch, past the Salt Lake of the Dead Man, an Incan mine abandoned 400 years ago, and a stretch of dirt 240 kilometers long with no access to water. I stopped at a small town to get supplies and rest. It was here in Belen that I met Alessandro, a mountain guide, and it seemed by chance I'd found the one person who could tell me all I needed to know about a journey that I'd randomly selected from a map. I stayed with Alessandro and his family for the few days. He soon had me doubting my ability to do this track as we discussed its dangers. The main difficulties were going to be the treacherous road conditions, the poor weather conditions such as extremely strong winds and freezing cold temperatures at night, the no water access of north of Antofagasta, the people and the pumas inhabiting the mountains, and last but not least, my own personal fitness level and ability to endure such a journey, most of which would be above 4,000 meters. Whilst our discussions had me nervous, my doubts were overcome by the sheer excitement of it all. I reminded myself of why I was doing this journey in the first place. It's to test myself and my soul. To do this, I had to accept all the challenges associated with exploring this vast and troubled landscape. I left the safety and friendship I had developed with the Route 40 and headed west and ascended the valley, making my way up the prehistoric watercourse that had carved its way into the sides of the mountains for millennia. I left behind the power grid, the running water, trees, and insects. It soon became very clear that I was reminded of more than I'd cared to chew in this northern area. Don't think you're a condor just because the mountains are big. I was averaging 25 kilometers a day as I ascended the valley, my bike loaded with 10 liters of water and supplies for the 200 kilometer journey to Antofagasta, which I estimated to be 10 days away.
So it's a bit windy, I'm sorry about that. I've made 35 kilometers today and climbed 1,000 meters of altitude. So I'm at 3,1 meters. That's 3,100 meters above sea level. Camped out on the side of the road and I'm eating some stew that I made 3 days ago that just keeps on keeping on. Everything's good, extremely happy, feeling good. Had a bit of a dance today and some 40-knot winds that were against me. It's freezing cold. As soon as the sun went, it got really cold. So it's about 5:30 in the afternoon and I'm about to go to bed. So check you later. Good morning, welcome to tent cam. It's freezing cold, bit of a hard night's sleep. My guide friend from Belen told me that I wasn't going to be able to sleep very well at high altitude, that I'd keep waking up and going back to sleep, and that happened a lot. He also told me not to eat very much before going to bed, and I had a big meal and that stopped me from going to sleep, so that was a bit hard. We've got 24 kilometers of sealed road, and then I've got 3 mountain passes all over 3,900 meters within 9 kilometers of each other, and then I've got 27 kilometers till I can get water at a small farm turnoff. I'm a bit dubious on getting more water. It's going to be a 20 kilometer detour by the time I get there and get back, and then I'm going to have to carry this extra water up the mountains, so I'm probably better off just going without so much water. If I'm going to have a coffee, just have a really strong one instead of a few coffees. It's early, we're surrounded by cloud. I'm doing one of the naughtiest things that you could do when you're camping, and that's kind of cooking on the inside of my tent. Not really recommended, but you know.
I was soon suffering from altitude sickness, spending most of my life at sea level, My body wasn't prepared for the lack of oxygen in the atmosphere at these altitudes. I had a constant headache and felt weak on the slippery roads. At times, I could only push my bike a few meters and then rest again. Since passing the 3,500 meter mark of altitude, the temperature had dropped substantially. I felt sick to the bone and was suffering. The wind was strong and cold. I did all I could do to block out the negative nagging thoughts and appreciated a moment of perseverance and endurance. I told myself that every person on earth is capable of greatness, that we all have ability and potential to achieve our goals. The trick is to persist in spite of all barriers and disappointments. After a few long days, I reached the plateau of the mountains and was rewarded with a truly beautiful scene. Stay tuned for next episode, where I come face to face with a sleeping bear and check out the volcanoes of Antofagasta. If you would like to support the Rat Bag Nomads, you can do so through our crowdfunding platform on Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you can support the ride and receive a handwritten postcard from wherever I am in the world. Thanks for watching, stay safe and stay positive.